and welcome into my studio. I don't normally show you the studio, and in fact most of you probably only know me by my hands, but I thought I'd just show you around, show you where all the drawings have happened over the last 20 years. I've been online for probably 25 years, but we've moved house in that time, and I thought it'd be interesting for you to actually have a little look around. So it's basically just a loft or attic conversion, and don't expect there to be things like mood lighting that I see online or fancy pretty things like that. My studio is really here, it's just my workhorse. I like to keep it neat and tidy, although that doesn't happen very often. It's usually neat and untidy, but it still serves a purpose, and hopefully you can pick up a few tips and things about how I've set mine up, and perhaps you can set yours up in a similar way. So let's move the camera around. I can show you, let's step back a little bit so you can see exactly where I work. Okay, so computer side on the right hand side. So this is basically where probably 90% of my professional art time is spent. Lots of people think that, you know, that we spend most of our time just drawing and painting and enjoying things, but a lot, when you're professional, a lot of that time is spent on the computer. So that's basically my computer setup. I keep it nice and sparse, and as you can see, advert that I'm working on the screen, and a couple of perhaps you may find interesting things down here. That's a small timer. Over the years I found that sitting around at the computer and the art drawing board as well really plays my posture up, something terrible, or it has done. And things like a timer to really limit myself of about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, if I can possibly listen to the timer or activate the timer and stick by that rule, then my back feels a lot better. Now the chair I use is quite an expensive one, but as you can see, I've modified it a lot, and basically I found that even with an expensive posture type of chair like this, and I can't quite remember the name of it, I was still getting bad backs no matter what position and level I was having that back at. And I found that actually taping a cushion or pillow to it helps my back tremendously. I'm not sure why. I think it's because probably I don't force myself back into the chair. My posture problems is more in the mid back, not the lower back, and I'm finding if I'm pushing my back into a hardish chair in that kind of area, it seems to make it flare up even more. So I've got that there. I'll talk about my chair a little bit more in a second. I've got some of these small kind of lights for if I'm doing a blog or some sort of web type of thing, I can use those. I've got a X Pen screen so I can do digital editing there, although I never seem to have any time to do that at all. Lots of people ask me about my printer. They think I use something special to print out my reference photos. This is just a cheap Epson XP7100. It does everything, so it's got a scanner on top, and I just always print out at A4 size, and then I just tape the A4s together if I'm doing larger drawings. I've got a cork wall, and you can see some of the drawings that I've done over the last couple of years up on there, but more of my recent ones, perhaps a dog and the hornbill there. I just put those up there for the simple reason, if everything goes away, then, you know, I can sometimes think I forget how the drawings that I've actually done. I know it sounds a bit strange, but let me turn that camera around. Sometimes I do a drawing and I'm quite impressed with it. Not that I'm boastful, but I think, wow, that turned out really well. If I put it away and then don't do anything like that for a long time, I seem to lose my, what should I say, my confidence in the ability to actually do something like that. So by putting some of my, what I think is my better work up on the wall, that just reminds me that I can actually do it, and that I did do it in the past. Okay, so coming down, we can see, let's look at my drawing board first. Okay, nothing special. We've got lots of electronics around on there, which can be a bit of a nuisance, to be honest, when you're drawing. But what it is actually a technical drawing type of board. And so it goes at lots of different angles, from completely flat all the way up to completely vertical. It also goes up and down as well, so I can get the perfect seating position. That's important for my camera more than anything, and the lighting. The lighting, I've got videos on these. So these are from the Daylight company, and they actually, let me go this side, you can actually put them together like that. They're on a flexi arm, so I can move it as well and get that light nice and even, perfect for my drawing. Got another one on this side just to get that even light, and the Daylight company also do lights like this as well. So I've got that's just lighting up this part of the desk, but this is all movable on an arm, and dependent on your drawing area, you can use whichever one you want, but I find they're really good and give a lovely daylight brightness. Oh, and another thing, you can just push the edge of them and they go lighter and brighter, so you can get just the right amount as well. If I work my way down, I've got bits and bobs here, spare pencils, knives, what have you, and then my drawers for my pencils. So I've got them towards the right of me, just so it's easy for me to reach across. And I've got lots and lots of pencils. Now I try to organize them, and I use the word try deliberately, really light all the way up to the darker colors. And I say try because that doesn't happen very often at all. Okay, I've basically got them all looking nice for you now, and I would say try to do that if you can. It's easier to then select your pencils, but I'll be completely honest with you, and I virtually never do that at all. So it's a case of do as I say, not do as I do myself. So I've got them all in ranges, like, as you can see, dark blues to oranges, ochres, dark browns, and then I've got so many pencils because I was a bit of a collection addict at the beginning. You can see I've got my greens, greys, all down there as well. To the side of me, in easy reach, I've got the pencils that I was using at the moment when I'm doing that cheetah. And then I've also got, because it's a magnetic whiteboard, you can see my magnets here, I've also got 2 trays that I've got with very strong magnet holding against my board. Now the idea of that, and it does work, is that I can keep my batches of pencils there and just pick them up so that I don't have 15 pencils or so in my hand. But I can absolutely say, although this works really well, I still usually have about that many pencils in my hand at a time, and I know most of you can relate to that. Some of you will be interested about cameras. Okay, so I've got my camera set up, so that goes above my head, and then on the ceiling you can see I've got this arm which it all attaches to. For years I did it in a different way. I did it off of tripods, and that was causing my back to ache even more because I was sitting at an angle. Now over the top of my board I've got the exercises that I should be doing. Let's go in a bit on those. Every 20-30 minutes, just simple exercises that help to free up my posture and come out of that static position. Down below it, I've got another one of those timers. You'll hear this on lots of my videos where I just beep it, push it, beep, and turn it on. That again is a notification to say, get up from the chair, 20 minutes is up, and move around. Even if it's a case of just stand up, do a couple of squats, or go downstairs for a cup of coffee and then come back. the drawing I'm working on right now. That's the one you're mostly seeing online. That was for my next Patreon lesson. And the reference photo by the side. If I go over to the left, I've got some of the pans out, or those are the pans that I used for the underlayer of the cheetah. So that's here as well. Underneath that, I've got a set of Rembrandt pastel sticks. What else can I show you? Down on the floor, let's get into the dirtier areas. I've got my PANPASTELS there in one of these boxes. Underneath, I've got these type of boxes that hold the pastel sticks. Oh, and let me show you something else. Let me just turn that camera around again, because I know lots of you do have problems with posture. So let me see if I can actually show you this, how I sit. Okay, so I'll turn the camera around again, because this is one of the critical things that's helped me out. And let me see if I can somehow position the camera and bring it around a bit. It's a bit tricky to show you like this. Right. So if you see my chair, the arms come up and down on my chair and go in and out as well. Now what I've built is this kind of made out of cardboard with a bit of fabric on top of it. And what I do, as I said, it's going to be a bit awkward to show you, but stick with me for a second. Right, you see the arms of the chair? This comes up, goes on there, and then I can come in to my drawing, and let me put that camera up there. It's a new camera I've got specially to show you things like this in the studio. There. So bear with me while I'm getting used to this camera. So that's there. My drawing is here. And what this means is I can, when I'm drawing, I can rest my arm on there and draw, and that's taking the weight. That's taking the weight away from my arm and shoulder, because I was finding when I'm drawing without this, you end up having your arm like that, and it just like flops down and goes relaxed. And then that's causing the socket of the shoulder to be really soft and loose. By being able to put my arm on there, I can do it a bit better. Now, I'm actually trying to make a new version of that, because I'm always trying to do things to help my posture. Let me spin this camera around again. So you can see I'm making a bigger version of that out of a piece of cardboard. So I've got a bit of a larger area on the front to rest my arm. If you're working in a kitchen or something, you know, don't think you need all of this type of setup. I wanted to show you, because I think you see on YouTube now everything's really professional, highly polished, all of these kind of blog type videos as well. And I wanted to show you that, you know, you can have just as much fun if you're working in a kitchen, on a dining room table, in a corner or something. You don't need a big setup. I've got a setup like this mainly because I need all this electrical equipment around me for lighting, for recording, and as I said, that can be a little bit of a nuisance as well. It's not easy doing that type of thing, but you don't need a large area or setup at all. And I think this, as I said, you see lots and lots of mood lighting and special backgrounds and all these things, and it can make you feel a bit disheartened if you don't have an area like that. So this is my real area. This is exactly what it looks like when I draw and create. And I'm going to do a lot more of these live videos, or these kind of real videos where you just come into the studio. If you've got any ideas of things that you'd like me to cover on these shorter videos, drop me a line, drop me an email or message, and I'll be really interested in knowing what you would like to see. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all on the next video. If you're struggling to draw animals or to improve your art, I can share with you the techniques I've learned over 25 years so you can avoid frustration and trial and error and start to enjoy drawing and creating straight away. Hi, my name is Jason Morgan. I'm a professional artist and I would love to be your guide on your unique art journey. I've fallen in love with pastels and I'm sure you will too. There's really no other medium that has the vibrancy and colour intensity and the ability to put light over dark. That's an absolute game changer for the animal artist. Now on my channel you get immediate access to hundreds of hours of lessons and demonstrations, and you go completely at your own pace. There is absolutely no rushing in my art channel and lessons. Think of it like a video library. You pick the video you like, something that really takes your fancy, and you take as long as you want to complete it. Or alternatively, you can watch my videos, learn the techniques, and apply them to the subjects that really inspire you. And you also get new reference photos each month. They're copyright free. You can use them in your art, sell your art, no worries whatsoever. Many of my artists came to me with little to no art ability whatsoever, and they're truly amazed with what they're now creating. You could be doing that as well. Now don't think age is a problem. You're really never too old to start learning and enjoying art, and many of my students are 40, 50, 60, 70, even 80 years of age. Now my channel is about much more than lessons and techniques. You also get access to my secret private Facebook group, and that's full of members that's literally grown up with my channel. They're super supportive and kind. They come from all over the world. So if you've got any questions, you can rest assured there's going to be someone there really quick with a solution to your problems. Now with my channel, you're not tied into any contract. You can literally come and go as you please. You can go up tiers, you can go down tiers, whatever you want. And there's a tier and a price to suit literally any pocket. Now I've been doing art lessons for many years, and I really pride myself on trying to create the absolute best lessons and demonstrations I possibly can. I really hope to see you there soon so you can start your art journey, and I can't wait to see what you can achieve.